Alright, hello YouTube. This is Evil Poke 5 doing a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck review. I've just built this deck out of some cards that I had left over and out of some random packs. Some of them being from the starter deck pack, but I rearranged it into something that I really thought was cool and fun to use. And alright, let's get this started. Alright, yes, I am going to be running off a Utopia. So, first thing that you need is going to be like around 2 or 3 Utopias. I'm running 2 in this deck. So, just 2 Utopias, it helps keep the extra deck a little bit more consistent because my extra deck's a little bit smaller. Then 1 Utopia Ray, 1 Utopia Ray V. So the Utopia Ray and Utopia Ray V, the only way that you can really get Utopia Ray V out in this deck is with the rank up magic limited variants, or you can use all 3 of the Gagas. And then another one of my extra deck monsters is Maestro the Symphony Degen. He's a really good defensive type monster. And yeah, basically that's all I use him for. Nothing but defense. Next, windups and mains. That's windups and mains. That's just general. To me, he's one of the things that I would always have in an Xyz deck. It doesn't matter what kind of Xyz deck it is. It's just something that you gotta have. I mean, like, hold on a second. It's like, just look at it. Look at it for a second. It looks so beautiful, and its effect is devastating. Probably can't even read that. It's horrible. I'm using a phone, so because I don't have a camera or anything that's good. Alright. Next one, I'm probably going to get crap about this, because it probably may not go with it, but number 34, Terabyte. You need 3 level 3s in order to use this, but you can detach 1 Xyz material, but then you will be able to take control of an attack position monster your opponent controls for 1 turn. I'm surprised that you're actually allowed to have 3 of this. Nobody runs it, but to me it's insanely overpowered. Especially because it has a 2900 defense. It has no attack, so it's a really good defense monster. And then my last Xyz is number 19, Freezedon. He is only in here because of his effect. If I were to use an Xyz monster's effect, I can detach an Xyz material from him instead and still use the effect. So if I want to use Ray V's effect and he's on the field, I can detach this and still use Ray V's effect. Same thing with like a Terabyte, or the same thing with any of those. It's awesome. Alright, next we're going to go through monsters. To me, I stuck this in here, Bite Bug, because of just now there are only people that use Xyz. So it made sense to put him in here because if you have an Xyz monster, I can special summon him from my hand. So that made him very useful. And then Oddjaw Archer. I put him in here just for the consistent thing, because nowadays people are putting things back in my hand. I've been seeing that a lot, and so I've been winning things by just constantly summoning him and just lowering your health bit by bit by bit. And then of course, Gaga Magician. It's a given. You more than likely need this in any Xyz deck that I have seen. Unless it's like wind-ups or something that brings stuff out too fast, like Maldulch or something like that. But then, I put in 2 Ancient Elves. Yes, they're normal monsters, and yes, they're 2 level 4s. You will see why I do that in a minute. Alright, and then I put a Mystic Tomato. And the reason I put him is because you can bring out one of your Gagas so easy. So if you have like Gaga Magician, Gaga Girl, no, not Gaga Girl, just like you can special summon Gaga Girl from your deck, and say you have Gaga Child in your hand, that's an instant way to get Ray V on the field. And then I put Crane, and Marauding Captain. Marauding Captain I put in there, 1, because I can special summon a warrior. Crane, I put him in there because I can special summon a level 3 from my grave. So it really makes it a little bit consistent. and then Gaga Girl. If you don't know what she does, then, well, basically, if you have your Gaga Magician on the field, she can copy his level. So that's very useful. Then I put Zubaba Knight. I put him in there because nowadays people are running a lot of defensive, and he's useful for that reason, plus the level 3s that you would need for level 3 Xyz. And then I put two Neo the Magical Swordsman. Alright, I'm going to put my Ancient Elves right back here too to show you what I meant. Alright, the reason I put those is because of Rescue Rabbit. Rescue Rabbit, I'm glad they put him to 1, but he was very useful when he was at 2. But say I have one of him in my hand, then he's useless in my deck. But if I don't have one of him and I normal summon him, I've got an instant level 4, like rank 4 Xyz. So that's why I put him in this deck. That's why I put those normal monsters, because it becomes very, very useful. And then I put Goblinberg and Kageto Cage. Those are the 2 given that you need for the Utopia deck. Goblinberg is a warrior, and then you can always just... I mean, you could just get a warrior from your hand and all that. You can just get a level 4 monster, a warrior. You can just get anything from your hand that's a level 4 or lower. And then Kageto Cage, you can special summon him once you normal summon a level 4. Then you've got Gaga Child. The reason I put her in this deck, 1, because it runs so well when you've got a Gaga monster on the field. If you've got like Gaga Magician on the field, and you make it a level 3, or if you have Gaga Girl and Gaga Magician that are level 5, this becomes level 5, and then you got the automatic Ray V. But then if this is useful for becoming any level so long as you have a Gaga. Then I got Gaga Gardener, because nowadays, I've also been noticing that I've been, like, having a bit of a slow hand. I'm always ending up with those hands that are very, very slow. So then I get him, because if I want him to be useful, I'll just leave my field completely empty. I'll end my turn. They'll try and attack, I get to special summon him from my hand. But then each time that he would be destroyed, I can just discard a card, he won't be destroyed by that battle. Then I put Tatsuke Knight. I kind of debated when I was putting this in the deck. 1, because it's only useful when I have, like, no cards in my hands, and it can only be useful from the grave and only once. But that's why I only put 1 of him, because he can only be used once. Then I put Gambara Knight. I put him in there because he's level 4, and he's a warrior, but then he can also go to defense if he's an attack. Then I put Magical Undertaker. I put him in there just because if I have a Gaga monster in my grave, like Magician, Girl, or Child, I can easily bring one of them back. And then I put Mystical Elf and Chamberlain of the 6. 1, just because they're normal monsters and they're easy, and then, like, they're just an easy way to summon, like, defense. Alright, now we're gonna go through the spells. I put Gaga Revenge in my spells. 1, it's the same thing with Magical Undertaker. I can just go and bring a Gaga monster back from my grave onto the field. And then I put Wonder 1. That is why I use Mystical Elf. I use that because I can equip it, send them both to the grave, and then I get to draw 2 cards. It's very useful if you get a bad hand, and then you draw that. And then the always needed, in my opinion, is the rank up limited variance force. Anybody who's looking at this who knows about a Utopia deck should know what it is. But if you don't, I'm going to tell you right now, it is used just to get, like, if you have Utopia on the field, get Ray V on the field, and then, no, not Ray V, sorry. You could just get Utopia Ray onto the field automatically when you have Utopia, and then just use rank up limited variance. You've got Ray V, and you've got a lot of Xyz materials for Ray V. And then I put 2 Mystical Space Typhoons, just because it's MST. To me, you need it. You need it in every deck. And then I put Double or Nothing. I put it in there because it's very fun to use, because a lot of things are negating now. In my opinion, there's a lot of things that negate attacks, such as like Magic Cylinder and negate attacks sometimes. And then, if my attack's negated, I can attack again with double the attack. So it's very useful for attacking that kind of stuff. Then I put the warrior returning alive. I did that because it's just like a monster reincarnation, just for warriors, and I don't have to discard anything. Then I put Xyz unit. Xyz unit is something that is just very near and dear to my heart because it saved me so many times. And I put it in there because it's just so useful because of needing to have like more Xyz materials, and then I can just use that. Then I put double summon. I put double summon in there just in case I want to get a quick like level 3 or something because I don't have like anything good in my hand. And then I put reinforcements of the army. I put reinforcements of the army just because, like, it's very useful. Like, say I have Gommenberg in my hand and no other monsters. Boom, reinforcements of the army, and then I just get another monster. And then I put Magical Mallet. I put Magical Mallet in there just to, like, make people mad. One, because I'll just have, like, a card in my hand, that, like, a few cards in my hand that are useless, reshuffle my deck, and then miraculously might end up getting some of the cards that I need. Then I put an Ego Boost, just because it's an attack booster. Enough said. Alright, now for the traps. I might get debated on this, but I put Puzzle Reborn only because a lot of things are being destroyed by effects nowadays. And then when it does if a monster gets destroyed by an effect, I can bring it back. Then I put Draining Shield. Draining Shield, enough said, I gain the life points after I negate your attack. Then I put Stronghold, the Moving Fortress. I don't know if it's necessarily legal or not. Oh, and, oops, by the way, just search my trap cards. I've got 2 Draining Shields. But, I don't know if it's legal or not, but constantly I've been playing in, like, tournaments and such. I'm apparently allowed to Xyz with monsters that are traps, because he's a level 4. Activate him, he goes in defense mode. So technically, he's a monster. But, if you Xyz with him, he's an Xyz material, but it still would take up a trap spot. It still does, which is the only down part. So you'd have to get rid of him first off of Xyz materials to get rid of that. Alright, then I put Miracle's Wake and Utopian Aura. Miracle's Wake, I put this in here because of if I have like something that was destroyed by battle that was very important, just bring him back. Utopian Aura. Okay. Utopian Aura, I put that in there. 1, because it becomes very useful when I've got like something useless, like say Freezedon, and I don't have anything that I want to waste on him. Then I'll just detach Freezedon, and none of my Xyz guys can be destroyed. Then I put Gaga's Shield, Impenetrable Attack. Impenetrable Attack. Gaga's Shield allows the spellcaster to not be destroyed at least twice by card effects or by battle. Each one twice. Impenetrable Attack, I can tribute 1 monster on the field, and it target 1 monster on the field, and it can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects during this battle phase. But the other one that I can choose is that I don't take any damage from that battle phase. Alright. And then I put Dust Tornado. I put Dust Tornado just because it's like just like MST, but then I get to set something and they don't know. Alright. Then I put Damage Vaccine Max. 1, because it's like an equalizer. Say that like somebody puts like a Blue Eyes or a Utopia or a Galaxy Eye, something like that. This is like an equalizer. Say they attack you directly, you take that. You activate this. You gain that life points back. It's an equalizer. It's like you didn't lose anything. Alright, and then I put Shadow Spell. The only reason I put Shadow Spell was because I didn't have any Fiendish Chains. If I had Fiendish Chains, heck yeah, I would switch it out for a Fiendish Chains right off the bat. But Shadow Spell is still useful because it won't allow him to attack, and it can't change its battle position, and it also loses 700 attack, so it's pretty useful still, but I would so use Fiendish Chains instead. Alright, and then I put Copy Knight. This is the last card in this deck. And what it does is if I normal summon a warrior, this, I can activate it, and it special summons as a monster, either an attack or defense, same level, and the same type as that monster. Okay, guys, that almost wraps it up, but I've got one more thing. In this deck, there is enough cards, but I also thought it would be hilarious, because I've done it online, that makes it consistent. Sinister Serpent. The only reason that I would use this in this deck is because if I have Gaga Gardna in my hand. I mean, it's just like, I special summon Gaga Gardna, because one of my friends had done this, and, like, what happened was, I just kept discarding that. He only had one monster that could destroy it with the whole thing. And I just kept discarding that and getting it back to my hand. And then, like, yes, it's banned, I know, but, like, the rest of the cards are not. But the other last two banned cards are Graceful Charity and Pot of Greed. That just makes the deck a little more consistent if you're not doing ranked play. Like, if you're not doing any tournaments. But the rest of the cards, like my traps, spells, monsters, and Xyz, those are all tournament legal. The only thing banned are these three. Only things. I still don't understand why Pot of Greed's banned. But, like Graceful Charity, yep, understandable. Sinister Serpent, understandable. Why Pot of Greed? There's so many things that let you draw now. Ban one day apiece and bring back Pot of Greed. Alright. Okay, YouTube, that's all I've got for this video. This is Evil Poke 5. I have now finished my Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. And also one more thing, while you're at it, I'm going to shoot out to one of my friends, Ralister. If he ever watches this video, or someone, all YouTubers should go and check out his site, axonraid.com, which is AXON Raid, like RAID.com, or AxonRaid, the YouTube channel. We do League of Legends videos there, if you know what that game is. And you should go ahead and check it out. It's pretty awesome. So this is Evil Poke 5, signing off.